Right now, with us this morning is Texas DPS Trooper Sergeant Brian Washko for his regular visit. Every now and then, when we can peel him away from his vacation.
Y'all are horrible.
Of course, it was the Yucatan last month, followed by Matagora.
They needed to hear my safety speeches as well.
Yeah,
I don't just.
It's funny they get to listen to your safety.
I don't just
speeches.
Discriminate to Texas. I spread this message worldwide.
His shorts and barefoot, hanging on a hammock.
Full in the room here.
He's a busy man, Ken.
Yeah. Yes. So everybody knows how to hang a hammock safely. While holding an adult beverage.
Those can be dangerous.
They can be. Yeah, you got to be careful when you get on a hammock.
You could chip a tooth falling out of one of those things. Those things you sit and you had to learn. I had to learn to get in that thing because there's always a weight limit for things that I do because I'm a little larger. But I can't zip line, can't go to the skydiving things. Yeah,
I can't ride the teapot ride at Disney.
I know because of my weight.
Oh, that's the worst.
So yeah, the hammock thing was pretty cool. Once I mastered it, I never got out of that thing really. I guess because I couldn't really.
Didn't want to make a scene.
No, luckily I practiced it and I perfected it. It's good.
All right. Well, before we get going, how's the kiddos?
They're doing well. My oldest is 1 or 2 weeks left of field training, and he'd be cut loose. Went to his first murder scene already. And all this,
wow.
It's pretty rough where he works over there. There's some rough parts next to that woods.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's loving it. It's when you're that young, it's great training to see all that kind of stuff. But I told him, I said, you'll get tired of it. It's fun now, but at the same time, remember the danger part of it because I tell him just never let your guard down. Mm-hmm. Be careful, but don't take any unnecessary risks.
He's got a good trainer.
I hope so. We'll see.
Well, I was talking about you.
No,
your dad.
I know, but no, he's enjoying it. Yeah, my youngest just started high school this week.
Ooh, man, you're getting up there.
I called him the night before and it's like, hey, Jay, you ready for high school? No. I'm like, say yes. Yes. There you go. Be positive. I know being a freshman is probably not that much fun.
Yeah. Girls are hotter in high school.
Oh, my gosh. Really, Ken. My son starts high school next year, so we're getting there.
Yeah.
But no, I got to do a shout out. There's a buddy of mine from my childhood friend, Nelson Ortega over in California. He called me. We recently reconnected the last few months. He called me yesterday and I didn't realize I made my radio debut in 1988 at 11 years old. We used to prank call the Killeen radio station all the time. And it was like fake dedications using our friends' names. And we won pizzas all the time. And he actually had these recordings and he was sending them to me yesterday. And we about died laughing because here I was at 11 years old. I was a horrible little kid. I mean, I was like a comedian. That's what I wanted to be, I guess. I don't know. I had a lot of fun. Wasn't never mean, but we did some crazy stuff. It was the 80s. There was no caller ID.
Yeah.
We talked about the prank calls we did.
Good times.
It was good times. And kids now don't understand that how fun prank calls were. We'd pick up the phone book and just randomly just mess with people as kids. Then caller ID was invented and it all went down the toilet.
On that.
I know.
It was fun though. They had the three-way calling, so you'd have your friends secretly on the phone too.
We'd order pizzas across the street to our friend's house, and they'd show up, and the pizza guy would get turned away because you paid for cash everything. There was no such thing as a debit card.
Right.
I mean, this is the Stone Ages.
Wow.
We talked about that, and I was like, man, I can't believe we did those things. That was like 1988.
I would love to hear some of those.
Oh, 36 years ago. I got them here on my phone. I'll let y'all hear them later.
Okay.
We're not going to play them on the air.
Right.
You're a horrible person.
I am, but back to business. I mean, why am I here, right?
Speaking of,
we're talking off there about all these crashes, and looking up as of yesterday, there's 375,000 crashes year to date here just in the state of Texas alone. That includes minor wrecks. That actually includes any reportable wreck by any police department or state trooper in Texas.
Yeah.
2,206 fatalities. Which that is quite, we're right on track usually because we end the year usually about 42 to 4,500, unfortunately. But that's what I had a conversation with the trooper this morning. We're probably 31 million people now. They say 29 and a half, but in reality it's 31, maybe 32. And, I was telling him, I said in 1980, we're like at 9.5 million people. So we've tripled in size. So these fatality crashes and as the community around here saw, what was it, Monday? When was that? Monday morning? That real bad one that 5 people were killed just north of town.
Yeah.
Such a tragic story of a girl going off to college with her parents. The 14-year-old brother started school that day and his entire family got wiped out. It was just horrible. Then, of course, the other two in the other car were killed as well. So that's 5 people in one crash. And then
That didn't have to happen.
it didn't have,
Blink of an eye.
totally could have been prevented, and that's what 99% of crashes can be prevented. But the other individual, according to the lead trooper, the tires were bad. Possibly a blowout is what it looks like at a high rate of speed and goes in oncoming traffic. And I think that same day, a Fort Worth police officer was killed while he was working a wreck by a drunk driver who crashed through his scene. And this girl, I mean,
Wow.
she was drunk and on probation for shooting somebody a year ago. So, I mean,
Oh my God.
why was she not locked up? I don't know. But, that's the system that's above my pay grade. Kind of makes you mad. When you see that
Crazy.
revolving door, the violent criminals who keep coming out doing violent things to good people. And we need to do some fixing on that.
Wow.
But and then yesterday morning, another 5 fatality crash in Fort Worth. The drunk driver hits a family of 3.
Oh.
And actually 5. There's 3 adults, 2 children. He survived, of course.
Mm-mm.
So he has 5 counts of intoxication and manslaughter, and that's 10, 11 people we're talking about just right here. We're just in those 3 crashes.
That's insane.
So that's why that number always goes up so quickly. And I remember when I started doing this PIO position, keeping these stats and doing these radio shows, it was usually 3,200 to 3,500. And then COVID was a record year. Lots of DWIs because I think everybody's off work. They were drinking, doing drugs. I mean, people were in a panic, and we saw a huge spike in fatalities around that
Wow.
time. But we try to bring that number down. Not since November 7th of 2000 was the last day in Texas where we had 0 fatalities.
When?
2000?
Into November of 2000.
That was the
24
last
years.
time there was.
Wow.
There was a 24-hour period with 0 people killed.
Wow.
That was
Yeah.
24 years ago.
Yeah. And and statistically, can that be done? I mean, I guess it could be definitely brought down, but we're on average about 10 to 12 a day now. So that's very sad.
That's
So it's
sad.
everybody out there listening, it's not the officer's job to stop everybody to prevent crashes. You as a driver can do it easily. Slow down, wear your seatbelt, don't drive distracted, don't drive impaired, like you talked about on your news
Yeah.
cast. We're always out around the major holidays, and it's the easiest thing not to get a DWI. Just one thing you got to do: just don't drink and drive.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you need everybody on board with that.
You have to, and and that's what I did a news interview with the station last week. She was talking to us after the Fort Worth officer was killed, and there's a lot of people out there that think, oh, I'm the designated driver because I only had 3, only had 4. Everybody else is trash. I'm the least drunkest. That's not how that works.
But drunk is
you
drunk.
have to be completely sober with no narcotics, no alcohol, or else once you drink that first beer or take that first shot, find somebody else to drive you or get a ride share program or something to take you home.
I'm the least drunk holder. No.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunately people are like, oh, he's okay. He's only had a few. No, he's
Yeah.
not, or she's not.
I have to drive. I can't walk.
Yeah. Jeez. But also, this is a couple weeks ago, but from the 6th to the 8th, DPS launched a safe drive initiative that's focused on distracted, reckless, impaired visibility enforcement, and it aimed to eliminate commercial motor vehicle traffic collisions through periods of high visibility along major interstate corridors. So you have all your major interstates in Texas, I-10, I-20, 35, I-40, and 45. They took part in stopping people tailgating, speeders. Of course, that's both big trucks because we're seeing a lot. There's trucks everywhere. Everything we touch, eat, wear, all comes through a big truck, gets delivered on a big truck. So they're up and down, and I love my truckers. And without them, we'd have nothing. So
Yeah.
they get the products to the stores, and they work long hours, and they deserve to get a whole lot more money than what they make. I know they make some pretty good money, but they need to make more because it's very taxing on your body when you sit in a vehicle and drive all day long.
Oh,
They just-
yeah.
Gone for weeks.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
weeks away from their family. So
I'll get drowsy after a whole 1 hour, hour and a half trip. I'm
yeah,
going to stop.
but I know
I'm
that's
not
where you
alone.
drink your gallon of Red Bull and you
They get
hop
to go.
right up.
Yeah.
So, we talk about the safety tips around big trucks. Stay out of their blind spots. Large trucks and buses have huge blind spots on all 4 sides. Passing safely. Remember, you're passing a regular car. It's easier to do when you're passing somebody that's towing a 40, 50 foot, 60 foot trailer. You can misjudge that passing. So it's sometimes not always worth it because if it can't be done safely, don't do it.
Yeah.
Especially on
Don't
the
cut off
two-lane.
large
Yeah.
vehicles. It takes a large truck traveling highway speeds 2 lengths of the football field. It takes 2 football field lengths to stop. They don't stop on a dime. They stop on a nickel or a quarter because they're 80,000 pounds and even though they have air brakes. But you ever seen those long skid marks on the road from 18-wheelers? They go for a good while. So if somebody cuts them off, they can't just reduce their speed as quick as we can in a passenger car.
That really puts it in perspective when you say 2 football fields.
Yeah, because everybody knows a football field is, so picture 2 of those. If a truck's doing 75 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, and he slams on his brakes, locks up his tires, and if he's loaded especially, he's going to slide.
That's a
2 football
long
fields.
way to still go.
It is. And don't cut them off. Don't tailgate. Stay out of their blind spots. And, of course, put that phone down, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you had one. Didn't we have one in Milan County ran right into the back of a
The other day,
flatbed?
yeah. The other day, somebody was distracted probably or whatever reason, and there was one stop to turn left, so he was waiting for the southbound traffic, and as he's facing north, and unfortunately, somebody drove right in the rear of him. Yeah, happens all the time.
Another fatality, I guess. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I
unfortunately,
Okay. No.
we've been busy with those, and they're year round, but they do pick up in the summer with all the people traveling, going to the beaches, going to, colleges are out, and school is coming back in, everybody's traveling back to college and just getting ready for school start back up. And there's just always traffic out for some reason or other.
Now, we got a big holiday coming up. Labor Day. When is that? The first week in September?
Yep, it's on the 2nd.
The 2nd.
September 2nd.
Okay. I guess
Yeah.
you guys got a
It's-
campaign out there for that?
We do, like she mentioned, it's the official end of summer. Memorial Day kicks off our summer where we focus around that, but this is the one where people get that last trip out of their system before. Well, back when we were kids, we started school in September, usually after that,
Right,
but now they
yeah.
start school now or a week ago. And, but yeah, everybody likes to take that one last trip before the cooler weather sets in.
Last hurrah.
That's it. Go
Well,
out
most
and
of
have
them-
some fun.
Are the colleges already in session now, or is that after Labor Day?
I'm not sure.
I guess it depends on
I live in
where
Belton.
you go.
I don't think UMHB is in just quite yet, but I think they're about to be. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I have to Google it.
Yeah, I can remember back in school. It was like the Monday after Labor Day,
Mhm.
week after Labor Day.
Yeah, we had 3 full months of vacation.
Yeah. Now kids are dumber these years or these days, so they have to go back early.
That's right. They don't want to forget all they've learned. But talking about that, be mindful for students being out there because the bus stops or some of these places they have to pick up these kids when it's dark out. Kids generally aren't paying attention at bus stops. They may have their headphones on, be their earbuds, focusing on their
Most
phones
likely,
or
yeah.
tablets.
Yeah.
Because they don't talk to each other like we did at bus stops or mess around with each other. They literally just look like they're half asleep looking at their gadgets.
And they
whatnot.
are. Casey and I didn't have an answer to the question. We were wondering in the school zone. Now, obviously, you can't be talking on your phone. Does that also mean hands free?
No.
You can talk on the phone if
Yeah.
it's hands free.
Yes.
Like through your Bluetooth or
Yes.
ear.
Okay. All right. Well, I thought you couldn't be on the phone. Period. in the
Let me
school zone.
let me double check that. I'm thinking. So you've been like, no phone activity at all. Okay. This goes back to the story when I was on my phone in the crosswalk going to the school. The lady said I couldn't use my phone.
While you were on a
Yeah,
crosswalk.
while I was a pedestrian.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
I said, ma'am, that's for driving only. So no phones if you drive a vehicle, no phones at all in the school zone. Yeah. Let's get
Okay,
that
so
straight.
even if it's hands free,
Yeah,
in
stay
the
off
school
your
zone.
phone. You have your full attention, undivided attention in the school zone.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
But other places, just driving around, if you have them coming out of your speakers.
Yeah. Now, if you're sitting out front, in the parking lot, not driving, waiting on your child to come out, yes, you can, but obviously, or walking.
Right.
And I was told I was in uniform to the ladies, like, you can't be on your phone. And I'm like, who's she talking to? It was me. I was like, no, I'm not driving. I think I'm walking. I looked down. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not driving.
Yeah, that would have been.
So
yeah, no communicate, no devices in school zones when the school zones are activated.
even as a pedestrian.
No, you can.
No.
As a
Okay.
pedestrian,
Okay.
that's-
All right.
Except Washko. He's-
now that I confused everybody out there.
Yeah.
I was going back to my store where I was scolded by the hall monitor or whoever she was, the parking lady at one of these schools when I was on the phone conducting business, walking into a school. She was screaming, "Get off your phone!" And I thought she'd maybe talk to somebody behind me, and I'm like, maybe I should look and just maybe tell the guy or girl she's talking to it was me. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay.
Did you cuff her and take her down?
Oh, I just said, man, that's okay. I remember my first beer, and I went in the school. Just kidding.
That's a good response.
Yeah, so be mindful of the school zones. You know that we always try to push that out there as well. That during the summer, a lot of those times they still light up in the summer. Some places shut theirs off, but yeah, kids are back. And remember, school buses, when you're behind one, another thing we like to get out there that people forget, that all school buses are required to stop at railroad crossings, whether they're activated or not.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a federal law that required to. So sometimes they get frustrated and like, this school bus stopped at a railroad crossing when there was no train coming,
It's for
because they're required to
safety.
stop, look, and listen, and make sure it's clear before they proceed, because railroad crossings do fail.
Yeah.
And there was an instance up north during a snowstorm in Greeley, Colorado, I believe it was, in the 60s. It killed like 17 kids. They and after that is when they passed that federal law for all school buses to stop.
But
Good
still
one.
no seatbelts.
Now, see, that's a big argument we have. Exactly. I did a big program on this, and all the new buses that are built are required to have them now.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they required to use them?
Well, because and that's the thing we have. I did a program for some school bus drivers at Waco the other day. And so I guess because to retrofit a school bus, they're safe. They're safer by design because they're big and yellow. They have lights flashing. There's laws that surround them, what motors have to do around them when lights flashing. But in a rollover, everything inside goes all over the place. I've got videos of kids getting bounced around like ping pong balls when these buses are rolling over.
Yeah.
Because they're not restrained. And then I have a crash testing where they have dummies in their seats that are seat belted in, and holds them, of course, in place. But it costs to retrofit, because some of these buses are from the 70s and 80s, because you get an old diesel bus, they last forever.
Yeah.
You get 200,000, 300,000 miles out of them if you take care of them.
Well, it's got to be cheaper to retrofit them than to buy a whole new
To
bus.
retrofit ones anywhere from 10 to 17,000 per bus.
Wow.
So
Which is
that all comes down to money.
$90,000 cheaper than a new bus.
New bus probably $250,000, 200,000.
Whoa. Yeah.
So, but and that's the thing. It's
We don't have to make sense here.
I know
Yeah.
it all comes down to money, unfortunately.
Right.
And some districts have more than others, and some have newer buses. But you get out in these rural areas, which that's where a majority of the school bus rollovers happen, because they're traveling on these windy FM
Country
roads,
Yeah.
and it's sometimes raining or possibly icy, and the buses get off the road. But yeah, I've that program I have. I have videos of drunk school bus drivers drinking beer while they're driving kids down the road. I'd have never thought in my wildest
Can't
dreams
do that.
No, not when it's not in the school zone. They can't.
No,
But
Ken.
No, really, it was eye opening when I put that together, because it showed, there's cameras to film the driver. And, that's the thing,
Yeah.
going back to the seatbelts, there's one person on there that has a seatbelt, and that's the driver, right?
Yeah.
In these videos where they're getting rolled over, they stay in place, but all the kids are flying around. So I'm a big advocate for, if you can retrofit maybe one bus a year due to money, try to get that done, because, these kids' lives are on the line.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea.
But yeah, as for the drunk bus drivers, there was videos of that. And there was one instance where a lady reported a woman who bought beer and was driving a school bus.
I think I heard about that. I did hear about that one. And it's crazy out there because school's starting and you'll see people all the time. The school buses stop, the stop sign is open, and people they go. They just keep going.
And remember, that's a $1,250 fine.
$1,250.
Well, yeah, I've noticed that. Used to sheriff department. I think they're shorthanded now, but they would have somebody follow the school bus.
We do that as well during October, the school bus safety week.
Yeah,
I wish we try to do that when we can as well. When I see a school bus in the afternoons, I'll get behind it and kind of follow it for a while.
It's good.
Just for high visibility. Let people know we're out there watching.
We're watching you.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, when it turns yellow, the lights turn yellow. It's about to stop,
It's about to turn red. Yeah, just like a traffic light. Doesn't mean floor it and go around.
but you can't.
No.
Oh,
Well,
God.
you can safely pass.
You can pass
But
it.
we recommend, because when that thing turns yellow, and you're behind it, that means that bus driver's coming up on the stop.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get caught in the middle when it turns red, because there's other traffic coming. And traditionally school buses let off kids on the right side. They don't have to cross the street anymore.
Right.
They try to have that one-sided drop for safety issues, but every now and then you may have a kid that still has to cross, or they're going to a friend's house or something else. So just be mindful. Anytime you see a school bus, just remember there's kids that are on the loose, that are out and about.
Yes.
All right. What else do we need to touch on here?
We talked about school bus safety. Talking about the Governor Abbott's the Crime Stoppers for the criminal illegal immigrants that are out there. There's a lot of those that are getting apprehended, and not being apprehended for being here illegally. They're here because of the violent crimes that they're committed. Like I said, when Venezuela dumps out their prisoners, what do you think they're going to come?
Right here.
And a lot of the people from down there, these are majority for sexual assaults on children and other people, murder. So we're, like I said, we got to get that border locked down one of these days.
So is there a program that Abbott has going to
if you go to our DPS website, you can see the top 10 most wanted list from legal immigrants that are violent.
Is there a special unit that's doing that?
There is. DPS has their CID and their fugitive task force taking care of that. Like I said,
is ICE involved?
No, they're not. This is an initiative from Texas and Texas alone.
Okay.
They really don't. I mean, their hands are tied with this administration on what they can and can't do.
Right.
DPS and other agencies have arrested 28 of the Texas 10 most wanted fugitives, sex offenders, criminal illegal immigrants, including 10 sex offenders, 9 gang members, 3 criminal illegal immigrants on that. But if you go to our website, it has a full page on dedicated for who they are and what they've done, what they're wanted for.
Was Abbott able to take a lot of troopers off the border and back on the road?
We're still there. It's kind of slowed down because our main function is public safety, and we got to get out here and our traffic enforcement is our number one goal in traffic safety. So when we're down there occupied with that, we're not able to do a job that's taking the trooper off the road,
right?
Which in turn makes it unfortunately more dangerous. We're not putting the drunks in jail like we need to. We're not stopping the people who are not wearing their safety belt, the speeders. We're not taking the criminal folks that are out there that are wanted for violent crimes and whatnot off the roads through our traffic stops. So, and we're only tasked with so much, but like I said, we're trying to build our numbers up with troopers. We definitely need, as our state grows, we need to build up our trooper numbers as well. And like I said, we're always hiring.
So there's still a bunch down on the border.
Not as many as there were before, but yes, they're still sending some down.
Okay. Is that on rotation?
It is. It's on a voluntary basis now. So
really?
Okay. Some guys and gals want to go in that don't have the families, like the ones that are that are married and kids. It kind of gets stressful when you're away from home quite a bit, but it's part of the job. But at the same time, they'd rather, why not get somebody who wants to be down there and do that and leave the ones home that want to be home.
Okay.
Yeah. I see y'all got the now accepting applications on your website.
Yeah, matter of fact, I think they actually are graduating a class on Friday. So, when we graduate a class, it's usually anywhere from 90 to 130. But at the same time, we lose every August for retirements. We probably lose 300-400 employees through retirement. So we're trying to fill those numbers. So we're trying to go back to back schools and fill them up.
That's nice.
It is a great career. I highly recommend anybody who's ever had an interest in law enforcement to look into it. It's
even if you made crank calls as a child.
I know. Yeah. Well, they never found out, but now the evidence is out there. They're probably going to fire me. No,
busted.
Like I said, I wasn't born in this uniform, so I did live life. But yeah, we're looking for fine men and women, no matter what age. We have no age limit. So if you are older and want to go, if you start a second career, we have a lot of retired military who get out at say 38, 39, 40. And then come right over to us.
I say here you get $5,000 stipend presented upon graduation from a trooper training academy.
I know I didn't get that, but the new guys are. I know. I know. Maybe I can get some of that back pay, but no. I'm just glad to be here. This is, like I said, it was next month will be 18 years. I graduated the academy from DPS.
Congratulations.
I know.
How long are you gonna stick it out?
Well, this is my 20.
You go back and forth on this.
This is my 26th year. It's going by so fast. I've done this position for now. It'll be 5 years in November, and it's been a lot of fun. I meet a lot of great folks, get to travel a lot, and
you got to meet us.
The
highlight of your career.
I said a lot of great folks, not all great folks. Some have to tolerate, but no, it is a lot of fun, and especially going to the schools, talking to these young minds, these kids sitting out there in the audience looking up at me, and I remember being on that end. We had officers who would come talk to us, but I try to tell them, say, look, anybody in here interested in law enforcement? The majority of them's like, oh no, we don't want to do that. But maybe deep down they don't want to admit it because it's not cool to be a cop. But
my son wants to be one. He went to the police academy here.
Yeah. Heck yeah. And which one? We gotta pass the torch to the next generation.
Yep.
They got to
He's-
take care of me when I'm old and keep the highway safe when I'm old, driving around, bumping off cars because I can't see. So
Making those
All
prank
right.
calls.
Well, are you pressed on time?
not at all.
Okay. Because I want to find out who's more man, you or Casey.
Oh wait, yeah, I got to be somewhere. Did I say no?
You scared? You scared I'm
Okay.
more manly than you?
Y'all got me. All right, I'm here.
All right. We're going to take a little man quiz coming up in just a second. DPS Sergeant Brian Washko in the studio for his regular visit. And we'll
Because
be
he
back.
loves us.
Well, he was voluntold by his boss he had to come out here.
That's right.
All right. We're going to play the man quiz
I
coming
get paid
up.
a stipend to be here.
Yeah.
Hazard pay.
It's 8:36, 24 before 9. A lamp passes real country. Today's hits, yesterday's favorites. Good morning.
Ken and Casey in the morning, individually wrapped for your protection.